When I was young, my family moved around a lot. On average, we'd move about once every 2 years. During my 7th grade school year, I attended 3 different schools in 3 different school districts. And I know a lot of you who grew up military are going to say, yeah, so what? Well, we weren't military. My dad was a career truck driver, a pretty humble man making an honest living. Moving around so much, you tend to never associate a given place as home. When people ask, "Where are you from?" my standard answer had always been, Texas, even though we left there when I was very young. It was during my 8th grade school year that we eventually landed in Tacoma, Washington. And one of the first kids I met was this guy named Kevin. We shared a lot of commonalities. We liked the same music. We both had long hair. We wore rock t-shirts. And we hit it off rather well. Sometimes you just click with someone. Kevin was that person. Kevin was a budding guitarist when I met him, and as we moved into high school, Kevin said, "Hey, you should learn to play bass. We could start a band." And to that I responded, "Yeah, right." Kevin's response was, "No, seriously. It's only 4 strings, and you only play one at a time. It's easy." So I did. And then we did. Start a band, that is. For roughly the next 10 years, Kevin and I played in local bands together. Other members would come and go, band names would change, but the constant was Kevin and I. Eventually I stopped playing and left the music scene to go be a father and a husband. Kevin kept playing, and we kept in touch over the years. Sort of. Part of why I left the music scene was to go get myself sober. So you can understand my reluctance to associate with anything and anyone that I had left behind. But I always kept tabs on what Kevin was up to. He was, after all, the first real friend I ever really had growing up. Time is a funny thing. It can pass by in what feels like the blink of an eye. And some days, it can feel like it's moving so slow you can't bear it. I remember that epic line from that Star Trek movie where the bad guy said, "Time is like a predator, stalking us all." Fast forward 20 years and I found myself starting a new hobby, building guitars. When I posted about this newfound hobby on Facebook, Kevin was instantly one of my biggest supporters. One day, he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want you to build me a guitar." To which I responded, "Yeah, right." Kevin said, "No, I'm serious." To which I responded, "Not just no, but hell no." Kevin kept nudging me, and eventually I said, "Okay, let's talk about it." And after a serious discussion, I finally agreed. Then he told me, "Okay, but there's one catch. I want my name inlaid on the fretboard." To which I responded, "Not just no, but hell no." See, I've never done a fretboard inlay. All the previous guitars that I built didn't even have dots on the fretboard, because my personal taste, I prefer a totally clean fretboard. But Kevin kept nudging me, so here we are. When I started this hobby, I never really intended on building a guitar that would end up in the hands of a real player, a true critic. Kevin spends his time these days as a studio music producer, surrounded by musical instruments and musicians every day. To build a guitar that will be in that sort of atmosphere is both an honor and the most pressure I've ever felt in my life. It has to be perfect. Because if anyone will know, it's Kevin. So to make this long story longer, all of that was basically a long-winded way to say, this video is my entry into the Rockler Try That Challenge. I've never done a fretboard inlay before, much less a custom inlay as difficult as this one. But Kevin pushed me to be better, to try something new, just like he did when we were kids. After all these years, he's still my biggest supporter. And, thanks to him, I'm a slightly better maker than I was yesterday. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go make sure that I spelled his name correctly for what might be the 100th time. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Voyeur Guitars. Who's watching you?